Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Geeky Abhishek once again from here in Dallas, Texas, and today I'm going to do a gear review. So, what I have here is a modular Dualsport helmet from AFX Helmets. This is the FX-111 DS. DS stands for Dualsport. They also make this modular helmet in the non-Dualsport version, which is the FX-111, and it doesn't have the peak here. So, this helmet costs like or retails for $180. The non-dual sport helmet retails for $150. If you are like me looking for a modular dual sport helmet, you will be disappointed because there's not many. The only other helmet that I can think of is the Scorpion 8950, which just recently got replaced by the Scorpion 8960, which retails for about $300. The next one is the Shubhati one. It is a premium helmet, used to retail for about 750 bucks, but recently they dropped the prices at the time of making this video. I think you can buy it for $489 because they do have the newer version of that helmet, which is the E2, but it won't be a fair comparison comparing the sub $200 helmet with a helmet that used to retail for 800 bucks, which is almost, four times the price of this helmet. Now let's look at some of the specifications of this helmet. So this helmet comes in four different colors. The one that I have here is the gloss white, as you can see. The three other colors is matte white, gray, and silver. The non-dual sport version has more color options and graphic options, but the dual sport only has this four color. It comes with two different cell sizes. The material that is used for this helmet, AFX calls it polyalloy, which I'm guessing is polycarb, which is fine for a sub $200 helmet. AFX also claims that this helmet in a size large weighs 1.6 kilograms or 1600 grams. But boy, when I weighed this medium on my kitchen scale before I installed comms or anything, it weighed 1.8 kgs or 1800 grams, which is still fine for considering this is a modular helmet with a drop-down sun visor and a peak, and it's a polycarbonate helmet. For the price, 1800 is not bad. Now let's look at some of the features. The first feature that you have here is a peak that is removable. It also has the detents in the visor. There's like three levels of detents. Unfortunately, it doesn't support any pin lock, but it does have a rubber tubing, and I did ride it in the rain and it didn't leak any water. It also comes with a drop-down sun visor, which is operated using the lever on the side of the helmet. I prefer this because this doesn't get in the way of installing the clamp type Bluetooth communicator. It also has speaker cutouts in the EPS, which again helps in installing an aftermarket Bluetooth like a Sena or Cardo. In terms of venting, it has all the inlet vents, like it has three, like one in the chin bar here. You can open, close it. All of them are controllable. So the top vents, they have actually like close, like half open, full open, and then close. You have one exhaust vent in the rear, and this is not controllable. In terms of strap, it actually uses a quick release ratchet strap. Super easy to get on and off, even at handed or when you are wearing gloves. You just push that in, it locks in place. You pull this tab, and it opens in place. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is this helmet. Is pretty good for glasses or eyewear. So basically, if you're like me who have to wear prescription glasses, it's very easy to put on the glasses while wearing this helmet, and it doesn't cause any pressure points or anything. So, solid 100 points to AFX for that. Now, let's talk about some of the other things. Ventilation, which is very, very important in a hotter state like here in Texas or, Florida or any of these southern hotter states. So, like on road, as long as you are going over 40 miles an hour, it flows a ton of air. And I don't know if it's the air flows through the vents or not, but what I felt was most of the air was actually flowing from underneath. It does have a lot of channels in the EPS, which should facilitate. Let me see if I can show you. Like you can see those deep grooves in the EPS liner. So that should facilitate a lot of air flowing, but for me it was super hot when I was riding 110 degrees, so I couldn't really tell you like whether the air was flowing through the vents through the channels, or I mostly felt everything was coming underneath. For off-road riding, I was riding on a day when the temperatures were between 90 95 degrees. I was riding between 20 and 35 miles on the back roads, and I had my visor closed and I was sweating. So not really a ton of airflow for low speed technical riding. But what I can say is this visor is easily removable from this quick release. You just push and you can pop them out, and then you can wear this with a pair of goggles, and I think then it would be okay. And it actually facilitates wearing of goggles, because if you see all these curves around here, it's actually meant to hold the goggle strap in place. Even this rear vent is actually like a notch, so it won't it would prevent the goggle strap from slipping out in place. um, Now, the next thing is noise levels. It is a loud helmet, like especially on the highway when you're riding more than 40 miles an hour. There's a lot of wind turbulence and noise through it, to a point where I would not recommend wearing this helmet and riding long stretches of highway without using earplugs. If you are just using Bluetooth comms for navigation prompts, well, with a combination of looking at the screens and hearing this, you would be okay. But if you are going to try to have a conversation, which I do on the phone while riding on the highway, even at speak volume, that's not going to work, because it was very hard to understand what the person was saying on the other side of the phone. Uh, Now let's talk about, if you see in the bottom, this does have a really nice neck roll, and it also has a chin curtain, but for some reason it didn't do much to the noise isolation, so it's still a pretty loud helmet. What else? Like some anecdotal evidence. So this helmet is actually made by a company named Strategic Sports Company. It is made in China. It's made for AFX helmet. In terms of sizing, it is pretty standard compared to other helmets. I wear a size medium, and my head is 58 centimeters. This is the 57, 58, just like any other helmets. And in inches, it is 20, 22 3 eighths to 22 3 fourths, which is also pretty standard. They call it a neutral head shape, but I would say, as you can look at the helmet, it's more like a rounded helmet. So mine is an intermediate oval or elongated oval. So while I can wear this helmet for a short period of time without having any discomfort or pressure points, it does give me a headache if I'm riding it, like if I'm wearing it for more than a couple of hours. So when I initially bought it, I actually wore it at home for 30 minutes and I didn't feel any pain. So I decided to keep the helmet. But when I went for an all-day ride, after wearing this helmet for an hour or a couple of hours, it started pinching my forehead and it gave me a bad headache. But if you have a round head, I think you should be fine. But if you decide to buy this helmet, wear it for at least an hour and see how that goes. Okay, the next thing is I want to talk about the cheek pads and the liners. Everything is removable, washable, and it's moisture wicking. But I have some gripes. Is like the pull tabs on the pads are very flimsy, so don't yank on them when you are installing your Bluetooth comms. Be careful. But I don't really like, that's usually the case with any of these sub $200 helmets anyway. The only thing that I really want you guys to notice is, like, if I can focus, if you see here, part of the cheek pads here, right? It's actually held in place by Velcro, and it's a brand new helmet. I only wore it for maybe 500 miles. As you can see, it's already the Velcro is started to wear off. And when I was wearing, this came off, and the rough portion of that Lionel Velcro was rubbing against my cheeks, and it left a bruise. And I'm surprised because I have not seen any other helmets, whatever price range it is, that it uses Velcro to hold the pads in place. So that is one AFX helmets needs to revise on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the modular mechanism, which I kind of mentioned in the previous. The modular mechanism feels very solid. At 1800 grams or 1.8 kilograms, this helmet doesn't feel super heavy. The peak on here is not the longest peak, so it's still, but you do get a peak, so you get the ADV Dualsport styling. It doesn't catch a lot of wind. Side checks, depending on how windy it is, you do feel a very light amount of lift, but when you're straight on, it's actually, because it doesn't even have the center pivot point, so it's pretty good. It doesn't move around or make any kind of sound or anything. So overall, that's good. And that's all, guys. That's pretty much everything about this helmet. So let's do a conclusion. $180 EC 2206 modular dual sport, comes with a peak, comes with a visor with detents, which is also quick release, doesn't support pin lock, has cutouts for speakerphone, like has cutouts for speaker, has uh, the drop down sun visor lever on the side of the helmet, so actually helps installing any kind of comms. Is eyewear friendly, vents fine on the highway, not so well in off-road, but does support wearing goggles. It is a super loud helmet, so it necessitates wearing um, earplugs while riding. But for 180 bucks, it's a lot of helmet for the price. I just missed the ratchet strap also. So compared to the 8960, to me, if you're looking like if you're new to dual sport rider and you just want to test out with something, start off with, and don't want to spend a ton of money, sure, you should probably be fine with this helmet. Or if you just want a spare helmet, a second helmet where you want to keep your road helmet clean, you want something that you can, gets dirty and you don't worry about it, then you can get this helmet. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, comments, or anything, to leave them below. If you able to find out if there is a way to validate whether this helmet is truly ECE 2206 certified as AFX claims it to be, I would like to learn. I did a quick research and I wasn't able to find a source where I could actually find that. If you guys know how to find that, then do let me know, and I'll be very interested in knowing that. Um, and then the other thing, if you're interested in budget riding gear, where it's not what you get, where it's not you get what you pay for, but you get a lot for what you pay for, then subscribe to my channel. I'm a daily bargain hunter. I buy a lot of gear with my own money as a hobby. I'm not doing this for anything else. I do this as a hobby on my free time with my own money. I buy items, I share my experience with them, hoping that it might be helpful for other fellow riders. When I was trying to buy this helmet, I didn't find any videos or reviews of this helmet. Like, forget about YouTube videos. I couldn't even find a written review of this particular helmet anywhere. So I had to buy it, try it, and shoot this video and help you guys like what I found about this helmet. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next videos. Till then, ride safe. Bye bye.